I call this sort of the tale of two pathways. And you can have two individuals that are 65 years old. One of them is gardening, enjoying their life, playing tennis, shopping with their friends, playing full on with the grandkids, going to baseball games. The other individual is 65 but maybe bedridden or using a walker, maybe having trouble just walking to the end of the driveway to the mailbox to get the mail, and has had to stop doing anything that they've enjoyed in life. Now, these two ladies' pathway along their what we call our health pathway took a fork in the road somewhere. So that one stayed healthy, functional, able to do whatever she wanted. The other one really is unable to enjoy any of her activities, and they're both only 65 years old. Now, the fork in their health pathway didn't happen at 60 years old. Mm-hmm. It didn't even happen really at 50 years old. More than likely, they took a fork somewhere. They took a detour in their pathway, maybe at 40 or even as early as late 30s, to where one of them did things to try to remain healthy and functional and able to do all of their activities, and maybe the other one could have made a little bit better choices. But what people don't realize is that fork in the road happens much earlier than what you realize. And we must all look at our health in this way. The fork in your road to how you will look in your golden years is happening now. And so we must all make our health a higher priority and choose the pathway to a long, healthy, functional life, not the pathway to disability and dependency. But as Americans, we're too busy to think about that. We don't have time to deal with it. We're too busy to deal with our health. We have the kids to raise and the bills to pay and the house payment and the car payment, and we got to run the kids to soccer practice, and patients all the time tell me that they can't do what they need to do to fix themselves because they're too busy with work or too busy with the kids. But can you make your house payment if you lose your health and you can't work? Can you raise the kids or lift the grandkids if you become disabled? Can you make baseball games if you become very sick? So where should health be on the priority list? You can't do any of those things if you lose your health. So we should all, as Americans, make our health a higher priority, but we don't. As Americans, we have a tendency to put everything else first. And that is why we have, as Americans, one of the worst death rates of any industrialized nation on the planet. As Americans, we consume 50% of the pharmaceutical drugs on Earth, and we are only 3% of the world's population. So 3% of the population of the world consumes 50% of the drugs. We have more doctors and hospitals than any other country in the developed world, yet Cambodia has a longer life expectancy than we do in the good old United States of America. Cambodia.
That's messed up.
Yeah. And so the reason why, two reasons. Number one is because we think covering up our symptoms is treating our problems. And number two is we prioritize our health as very low on the things that we want to take care of and make a priority. So here are some tips other than making your health more of a priority. Some great tips for being healthy way up into your golden years, for years into your future. And I have 6 here. Number one is eat better food. I've never seen a study that said that better food would not make you healthier. In fact, almost every study that has ever come out since they've been doing studies has shown that eating better food will improve your health and your life for years in the future. And the second one is along that line is to get plenty of healthy fats. Clean wild-caught fish like Alaskan salmon, olive oils, avocados, supplement with some omega-3 fish oils. I like the Nordic Naturals brand. It doesn't have a fishy taste, and they're proven purity. The third thing is to eat plenty of leafy green vegetables whenever you can. Sometimes patient tells me I don't like vegetables or I don't like leafy green vegetables, and I just kind of think to myself, so over the 600 different leafy green vegetables out there fixed thousands of different ways, you haven't found one of those that you like.
Yeah.
And so learn to eat more leafy green vegetables somehow. Every single study on almost every single disease process out there boils down to eating more vegetables, healthy fats, and healthy proteins. And then number 4 on the list is avoid chemicals and pollutants in your surroundings. And I've mentioned this so often on the show, but the chemicals in our environment are making us sick with hormonal, obesity, and mental problems. Avoid them whenever you can. Processed foods are loaded with these chemicals. So just try to avoid chemicals as much as possible. And number 5 is get your checkups. Things like colonoscopies, blood works, yearly physicals, but with skepticism. And what I mean by that is to get your checkups and your yearly physicals and all that, but with skepticism. What I mean by that is if your cholesterol is a little bit high, try to fix it with some of these other things before you just go right to taking medication for it. Or if your blood pressure is a little high, give yourself a year to try to get that down by doing healthy changes instead of just instantly going right to medication for it. And really make an effort changing your diet, getting more exercise, losing some weight before you just rely on taking medication at the first sign of an issue. And then number 6 on the list is don't cover up body complaints with medications and Advils and Tylenols. Pay attention to these things. Symptoms is like your check engine light on your car telling you something is wrong. It's not what's wrong, but it's telling you there is something wrong. So you would never buy a brand new car and then just cover up the check engine light with tape and ignore it. Yeah. You'd want to find out what was wrong with it. And so
unless you're Steve Wiley.
Unless
you're Steve Wiley.
Steve
would do it.
So don't do that with your body. Get them looked at before they become surgical problems or before they are uncorrectable. Go to some place who really specializes in these body complaints. Like Bryant Wellness Institutes, for example. So let's all strive to do a better job now. Your health is truly the most valuable thing that you have. If you lose your health, you can't do all of the other activities that you prioritize above. So let's all, work on making our health a higher priority for a long, healthy future. All right?
Amen, brother.
Very good. So we will get together again next week. You can contact us on our Facebook page at the Bryant Wellness Institutes. And
your phone number
is 837-7174. Now listen, if anybody has any email questions, what is the email on y'all's website that they contact us to email me questions? We're trying to get this. If anybody's ever emailed me questions in the past, I haven't been getting them to my computer. We're just kind of realizing. So there's like 100 of them on there. So if anybody has any questions or wants to have any subjects discussed on the show, they can email me on the KTDY website.
Yeah, there's a button that you push that brings up a form.
I think it says "Ask the Doc" or something, right?
Something like that. Yeah, I'm looking for it.
So
right now.
send me your questions, and I will get back with you guys. And if you have any suggestions for a show, send them to me, and I want to get the information out there to you.
Fantastic. Thank you.
All right, guys. See you next week.
Dr. Kevin, Wellness Wednesday on KTDY.